Today's lesson with Lena focused on controlling Aries' feet. This is actually the first step in getting to pick up his feet. If I can control where he puts his feet, he will more readily accept me actually picking up and controlling his foot. Here I am asking him to turn his nose away and walk next to me, not behind me. Lena and I discovered something interesting about Aries' learning style. When learning something new, he needs to get the information baby step by baby step. But once he gets it, he's got it. Aries also likes consistent lessons, so when teaching him something new, I need to do the exact same thing over and over. Here, I ask him to walk next to me, go for a few steps, stop, and pet him. This way, he knows what is coming. His left side was actually the easier side today. This might have something to do with all the work I've been doing on the left. It's always a game of leapfrog, trying to get both sides to be even. About 75% of the way to getting it, I think Aries realized what we were trying to do, so he offered a different answer. He bolted, and I went skiing down the hill, but I held on. At the bottom of the hill, he let out a huge snort, and I responded by laughing. Such a character. It's important to go right back to where we left off, not giving his bolting a second thought. Each step of effort is rewarded with a release. Piece by piece, Aries put the puzzle together and began to lead next to me. Once he understood, he just did it. Now that he could lead next to me, we played with yielding his shoulders and hindquarters. All I have to do is adjust my body's angle to him, and he will yield away. He's going to be like driving a sports car with featherlight steering. Right here, I turn my core towards him and ask for his shoulders to step out. And he does. Here again, asking him to step out. He does. We move on. After our lesson was over, we let Aries have the run of the pasture, but he wouldn't leave the area by his pen. He likely lost a lot of confidence during his time since being rounded up. He'll get it back, but until then, he can use my horse Picasso as a security blanket. Right after I brought Picasso down and Picasso started to eat, Aries started to eat. Picasso is such an incredible horse. I can tell him, "Go down there," and point to the bottom of the pasture, and he'll mosey on over that direction. Picasso took his time and found the perfect place to roll. Aries seemed to agree with Pika and rolled in the exact same spot. Another great thing about Picasso is that he comes when called, and this time he brought Aries with him. It's so great to see Aries running and bucking. It rained today. Not the best weather to work in or film in, but we managed. I took Aries for a loop around the main barn area. He's handling the various strange things he sees and hears very well. The area where everyone parks has two sheds on the other side of the road from the cars, so it creates a squeeze. Aries usually stops before walking through, but he'll get better with repetition. An interesting observation. Notice my sleeves are rolled up? When I tried to catch Aries with my sleeves down, he was not pleased. It took me a second to figure it out, but once I rolled up my sleeves, he let me touch his face. I rolled them down later. He has to get used to it at some point. Winter is coming. I then took Aries up to the trail course and we went through some tires. Only his second time going through them. I then took Aries down to go over a log. It took some discussion and some convincing, but he finally went over it several times. The wind made it uncomfortable for Aries to face into it, so he kept turning himself to try to keep the rain and wind on one side. Not that I blamed him.